So I don't know if most people realize that old-fashioned glass cloths actually say glass cloth, and that gets me to my third impetus, which is I like puns. I did improv for a while, and I found that I really liked playing with puns more than was considered appropriate, and so it was nice to bring the three together. Anyways, so I don't know if people recollect seeing the piece, but it has vintage washboards turned into an A-frame, and then has towels made out of glass, printed with the words glass cloth piled over them. And there's also an audio track where what I do, which obviously I haven't contributed to the gas show, but you can get to it through my website, which has me reading excerpts from the design guide for how you should design houses properly. And I've also interviewed my sister because I couldn't think, how do you turn this from something where I'm just being annoyed to something which might actually be interesting to people. And I interviewed my sister, who had had four kids and lived in all sorts of different types of houses with relatively little money, about the places, how difficult she found it managing her laundry. So her voice, in a lovely, she talks nice and slow. So her voice talks in a kind of personal way about what it was like in different places. And I'm kind of rabbiting away in the background, and the voices are coming in and out. So that was the piece. If people were interested in what the stuff actually looks like, I've pulled out a couple of these. I have a very small kiln. I have a little Pug and hobby fuser, so this is the kind of maximum size I can get. But you can see the printing, the screen printing, just using powder. And perversely, I really like just laying a sheet of fine frit down and then powder printing straight onto it in a way which means that if you get it wrong, you've just completely got to throw it away again. I like that, that kind of hint of danger, if you like. I had also originally wanted to make towels that looked like they were wet and had been squooshed together, but I was burning through a lot of gloves in my kiln trying to move it at 690 degrees. And since my studio has a fire alarm connected through to the rest of the house, I thought I should go for the slow processes. Um, to bend things, to get proper bends in my tiny kiln, this is a broken piece. This actually just broke from being in the Biennale for a month, and the slow vibration on the floor broke this crack. But to get things to bend when you've got not much space, it was constantly trying to figure out the maximum angle I could do without it crashing into the roof. And so you'd often have to do three or four partial bends, which again was fun. I would walk around taking my daily walks with these kinds of images of what looks like geometry in my head, but really all I was trying to do is figure out the maximum bend I could get with the minimum number of slumps. I got a bit obsessed. And in the end, I produced those towels in what felt like a completely effortless fashion, except that it took me 3 months hard work to get to the point where it could become effortless. But anyway, so that was my piece. So it combines serendipity, puns, social outrage, and an opportunity to play in an obsessive fashion in my studio, all of which are lovely things. So that's me.
Thanks,
It's all
Lois.
very quiet. Did that make sense to anybody?
Absolutely.
Okay,
You know,
good.
that's the funny thing about things coming out of the kiln. Sometimes they look like they're effortless, but it's taken, as we all know, immeasurable amounts of things breaking and smashing to get to that point where it looks like it just is.
Mm.
Thank you very much. Are there any questions for Lois? Yeah. Brandy says in the chat, I love the idea of serendipity meeting social outrage. That's very
I've quite a few other pieces of work I've done have been prompted by a desire to kind of, well, outrage again. So I've done work on osteoporosis and work on dementia. So I have these kinds of big themes that come through, and in between I just play with stuff, and then something takes them over me, and I have to kind of work on it till I've satisfied it to my own, got my own satisfaction. So that's fun. But yes, it is. Thank you. Okay,
thanks.
shall I mute myself now then? Shall I?
Sure. And I know that Sarah Vaughn is on her way, so we'll come back to Sarah when she's in the meeting. But next up is Kensuke.
Oh, hi. Thank you. No comment. I'm really happy to receive this award. I'm also grateful to the people who watched the demo. This work was exhibited at the graduation exhibition, and I am very fond of it because I have overcome many mistakes before this work is completed. I'd like to continue to change various techniques to create works uh, thank you for such an opportunity. Thank you so much. Okay,
Thank you very much.
thank you.
And I
Are
also
there any-
want to put a quick note about Kensuke. The same work that he did here was featured as part of one of our live demos that we had during the virtual conference. And so that was recorded and folks will be able to watch that video. We should have it up by, today is Tuesday, by tomorrow, Wednesday. So you'll be able to watch him make his piece in action.
Oh, auction.
So I'm looking forward to watching the video when it's posted tomorrow, Kensuke, because I think I got too excited watching your demo that I missed some key things. So
Wow.
it's going to be posted tomorrow on the conference site, I think, right? The pre-recorded site. So
Oh,
we'll all be able to rewatch it and take closer notes. Thank you.
thank you so much.
And Siv, I think you're up next. Oh, but you're on mute.
Yeah, there I am. So it's Sive, actually. It sounds like
Oh, Sive. Sorry.
No,
I-
it's fine.
I practiced and practiced and practiced. I'm like, don't get it wrong. And I had it right yesterday, so I apologize.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
Mm.
Yeah, the work that won an award is all glass. I don't know if there's a picture around. It's all hot blow mold and then cold worked and then assembled hot again. There we go. Lois is showing it there. Yeah. So a lot of my work revolves around skin. This specific work had a big influence of like the Catholic Church. I'm Irish. I grew up in Ireland. So the church had a big influence on how we think about gender and stuff like that. This specific work, I was thinking a lot about the negative effects that organized religion has on the way we perceive things like women's reproductive rights, women's sexuality, menstrual taboos. Also the way the Bible describes women's skin as being unclean and tainted. So there's a lot of layers in this piece. I kind of wanted to reinforce the symbol of a chalice or a goblet as feminine, and also a symbol of blood as divine life. So I wanted to kind of disregard the biblical concept that menstruation was a direct result of original sin, and instead replace the blood of Christ with what I call sacred menses. It's kind of a little bit of humor in there. That's kind of it. If there's any questions, let me know.
Thanks. Yeah, I think that inversion or that questioning of faith and what miracle actually is it's very sharp in your work, and I find it, having been raised Catholic as well, there's some stuff there that I appreciate quite a bit. So thank you.
Yeah, you're very welcome. Thanks for picking up on that too.
The next person up is Emma Haas.
Hello. Oh, I just realized there's kind of an echo in here. I hope it's not too annoying.
We can hear you.
Okay. I wanted to say thank you, you guys. This is really nice. I'm studying in Portugal right now, but I'm from the US. And this piece was kind of the birth of my research. I'm getting my master's in glass art and science. And I had a really hard time casting all of these pieces because the glass that we use is not very castable. And so I created the piece with all of the castings that didn't work and all of the castings that did work, trying to bring together the idea of wonderful things are able to be created out of failures and successes. And this piece is completely rebuildable. So I took it down several times in the exhibition it was in previously and then reset it up in different ways. Sadly, I didn't get footage of all of the different ways that I set it up. It's only in one orientation in the video. And The research now that I'm working on is based off of this idea that the glass isn't really castable, and what ingredients and things you can put in the glass to make it more castable, and what defines a castable glass. And yeah.
That sounds really super interesting. And I'm curious what base glass you're starting with, or are you mixing the batch?
The glass that we have here is actually factory glass from a nearby place. So we use it for blowing, and it's quite hard compared to like spruce pine and other ones that you use to blow with. And in the mold, it also kind of sticks to the side of the mold a lot. So you see these like things, it's like trying not to fall down the mold, like grabbing on. And so the glass like never really made it to the bottom of the molds, no matter how many vents or anything that I put in. So yeah, I'm just trying to compare that with several other glasses and seeing what components make a glass castable, and then seeing what I can change within the structure of the glass.
Well, I'm pretty sure, I know I'm going to look forward to reading your your thesis. I think, casting and using blowing glass, that's how I learned how to cast. And there's sometimes there's no tricks. Sometimes you just have to use a different glass. So I'm really curious to see what your results are. It's going to be looking forward to it. So thanks, Emma. Are there any questions for Emma before we move on? All right. I don't see Sarah. I don't think I see Sarah in the participants list. So what we'll do now is we're just going to break out into 3 breakout rooms. You're going to be randomly assigned, and then we can just chit chat for a little bit longer, and then we'll be finished. So thank you very much, everyone, for coming, and I'll see you in the breakout rooms.
Could I just say, Natalie, having listened to everybody else, I realized I should have said thank you.
Oh,
and I'm very honored. And I completely forgot. I was so excited to talk to everybody about my work. And I have to say that I really only wanted to join the conference because I wanted to listen to Evelyn's talk in the middle of the night. And then I discovered that if you were a member, you got half price entry. And then I discovered when I went to be a member that there was still 16 hours left or something before your deadline. So that was a bit of serendipity too. But anyway, so thank you.
Well, I have to say that I know I shouldn't be personally pleased with how the conference turned out because I was only a part of it, but I'd like to just again thank the staff who worked incredibly hard to get this all together, and found the platform that we used. And I love the fact that we could chit chat at tables and like walk around and meet people. I met Carol Milne, who I see in the chat somewhere for the first time. Oh, there she is. And so it was really nice to be able to meet people. And nice to be able to jump in and take a look at all the pre-recorded videos and the live streams. It felt like I was there, to a degree, as close as we could get. So I'll meet you all in the breakout rooms.
Thank you.
Right. Okay.
Hi, everyone. Coming back.
Hi, Catherine. Did you get? I'm glad you got your bowl properly finally, rather than a giant heap of used DVDs. DPD mixed up 2 of my parcels, and a little bowl for Catherine ended up going to my stepson's girlfriend, which was full of used DVDs and other smelly, boy things.
So I think I just want to thank you all for being here and coming, and congratulations to everyone else. And are there any last announcements? I know that Lothar mentioned that there's a show opening up in Victoria called, and I'm going to get the name wrong because I just wrote down that there's a show. Oh, you're on mute.
Blow Your Sculpture. It opened 2 weeks ago.
It opened 2 weeks ago, and there'll be information being posted on their Facebook page. And the Facebook page is Blow Your Own Sculpture, right? That's correct.
Just Blow Your Sculpture.
Just Blow Your Sculpture. Okay, awesome. Are there any other shows opening or any other things that we should know about? Any shameless things that people want to share?
The National Glass Centre Glass Prize closing date for applications is really soon. I can't remember exactly when, but it's open to, I think, European glass makers. And that's based in Sunderland in the UK. So get your applications in for that if you're eligible.
Wonderful. Thanks, Laura.
Laura, I didn't hear which competition was.
So it's the National Glass, sorry, I know I've got the cold working going on in the background. The National Glass Centre Glass Prize. I'll get a link quickly and pop it in the chat.
Please.
But the deadline is really soon. I can't remember when. It could be maybe this Friday or next Friday. Oh, Catherine, you're saying it the 4th? You're on mute, sorry.
Next Friday.
4th
of June.
Perfect. Yeah, so get the applications in.
And if anyone's interested, I'm mediating another conversation for VCART between Dr. Jane Cook and Richard Wiley. So if anyone wants to join in, that's tomorrow morning my time. I think it's 3 or 4 o'clock Greenwich Mean Time. I think that's what Lisbon is on. So I hope to see everyone there, and I hope to see everyone, absolutely everyone, in person in Tacoma next year, because it's going to be, we're celebrating the 50 years of GAS over the course of this full year. And so Tacoma will be our closing party, and I think it's going to be amazing. And I'm not saying that there's a tech glass fashion show. I'm not saying that. I'm not going to say that there's going to be huge parties. I'm not going to say that it's going to be awesome, but it really will be awesome.
And
Natalie,
it's the International Year of Glass.
And it's the International Year of Glass, which is pretty exciting. And Brandy, I think, has something to say.
Yes, just in conjunction with the, we hope that we see you all in Tacoma. Shameless plug for GAS. Proposals for the Tacoma conference are going to open on June 7th, and they will be open through the middle of July. We'll be getting more information out to the public in the next week, but wanted to let you guys go ahead and put that on your calendar.
Brandy, you beat me to it. I was also going to say that we hope all of you apply for the member exhibition again for next year, and hopefully maybe you can present as well, and folks can watch you make your work in real time. So thank you all so much.
And I want to thank one more thing. The portfolio, the chance to have the curators to see our portfolio was awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, I'm so glad to hear that. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
All right, and that draws us to an end. So thank you very much for everyone for attending. Congratulations to all the winners and all the people who are participating in the exhibitions. If you haven't had a chance to see the work, Jenna, where can they see the work? And can you also let us know what the dates are for Tacoma?
Yes, I just dropped in the chat. So the proposals open June 7th, which is in maybe 2 weeks, 2 weeks. And then in Tacoma, it'll be May 18th, I believe, through the 22nd. So around the same time this year, but next. And then I'll also quickly drop in the chat. We have the link for the virtual member exhibition, which also includes a direct link to the catalog as well. And then there is the student one. So,
and then one last question, Jenna. Oh, geez, Louise, I just had it in my head. What was that question? You should have written it down. Oh yeah, how long will the recordings be up for people to watch from the conference?
Great question. So all of the pre-recorded presentations will be available through the end of May. And then by tomorrow, Wednesday, we should have the recordings from our live streams on that same page with the other pre-recorded videos. So then those will also be available through the end of May.
So to my group, I apologize. I gave you guys much more time than I thought was available.
Okay.
So I know what I'm going to do for the next week. Thanks, Jenna. Thank you very much, everyone. And I hope you have a wonderful day, whether that be morning, afternoon, or evening. Have a lovely day. Thank you for coming.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Ciao.